All right. Good afternoon, everybody. As we work to start to get ready, if we could have Councilman Gray, Councilman Bullock, President Cohen, if you can start to make your way up to the podium so we can start lining folks up. Dr. Santelises, you can make your way to the podium as well. That's right. All right, Sam, you going to be up here too? And then staff. Hey, President, I'll put you right here next to me. Put John on this side. John, put you on this side, man.
Yes, look.
Check.
No, you're good. It's funny. I was thinking the same thing. I walk over and I'm like, yo.
So the funny thing is, I was about to walk, and James was like, I'm about to leave. I'm like, James, can you please? Because if I walk over here, I'm not going to stop sweating for 30, 40
I
minutes.
know. I'm the same way. Once I start,
Sound check. Check. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sound check.
Stand behind John. Yeah, like, I don't want to block him. You step up. Yeah, because of the height. Perfect.
how you doing?
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. And thank you all being here today, this afternoon. As you can see, B360 is a wonderful new location here live at the Inner Harbor as we announce our summer youth engagement strategy. And I'm so proud to be here with so many of our partners, including our elected partners and Council President, Councilman Gray, Chair Bullock, Councilman Blanchard, as well as Deputy Commissioner Jones, Director Mavronis, Dr. Sandalisis, Commissioner Simmons, representative for the Liquor Board, and all of our community-based partners who are here with us today. As always, our goal this summer is to keep our young people safe, connected, and engaged. And we are continuing to make tremendous progress in making Baltimore safer, not just for our young people, but overall. Just in case you didn't know, that as of this morning, both homicides and non-fatal shootings are both down 30% from this time last year. And that, of course, is on top of the historic reductions that we made in 24 and 23. But despite that great progress, we are doubling down on our efforts. We have to continue to wrap our arms around the next generation, and that we know that this takes a village, and it truly does, which is why we're standing with partners from across city government, our community, violence intervention ecosystem, and much more. Because this year, we're building on our approach from the past 2 summers, combining proactive ground-level engagement with programming that helps young people enjoy their summer and allow them to reach their full potential. Last year, thousands of young people across Baltimore took advantage of programming and summer employment. Our youth engagement staff had more than 500 positive ground-level interactions with young people. And for those who don't know what that means, that's young people who are out late night in spaces that we know young people congregate and shouldn't be in late night. Have to decode that for folks. And during that time, the number of youth shooting victims decreased 66%, and aggravated assault victims dropped 31%. But for those of you who know me very well, you know I'm not one to let good get in the way of great. And we have to continue to have a all-hands-on-deck approach this summer. We have 8,500 young people signed up for YouthWorks this summer, and all 8,500 will be offered jobs and employment. We know there was much more demand, but if you didn't see my video, I was very serious about the deadline. So everyone that came on April 6th, 7th, and 8th, no, you have to apply by the deadline. We have 12,000 seats in Summer City Schools programs, thanks to Dr. Sandalisis and a great team there. That's across 10 district programs, 29 literacy-focused programs with opportunities from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. We're going to be standing up more Rock the Block parties across Baltimore this summer. We have 42 summer camp sites through recreation and parks. We will again have midnight basketball, Be More night hoops, and of course our team parties at Druid Hill Pool. And we'll be extending hours at 9 recreation centers throughout the city until 11 p.m. every Friday and Saturday from June the 20th through August the 16th. And those centers include Middle Branch, Rita Church, Greenmount, Edgewood Lyndhurst, Lakeland, C.C. Jackson, Cahill, Robert C. Marshall, and Madison, also known as the Dome. I'll repeat that list for our members in the press. Middle Branch, Rita Church, Greenmount, Edgewood Lyndhurst, Lakeland, C.C. Jackson, Cahill, Robert C. Marshall, and Madison, also known as the Dome. And we're activating this summer something I'm very excited about, our Rec on the Run mobile, which will take these programs, recreation programs, into neighborhoods with limited access or no access directly to recreational facilities until September the 12th. And we already got started. In case you didn't know, I heard Druid Hill Park was very live last Saturday, where we had 1,500 young people who came out for the Teen Fest on Easter weekend. And while in previous years we waited until Memorial Day to stand up our ground level engagement efforts, Monsi and the team are already mobilizing community partners, and Director Mavronis will go into more detail here. In the event that young people need a place to go, they will be provided a ride or a walk, depending on where they are, here to B360's new downtown location. I want to thank Brittany and her team for offering up that beautiful space. Thank you so much, Britt. This will serve as our Youth Connection Center, where young people can connect with staff and resources as they await a pickup. And when their guardians do come to pick them up, they'll receive a calendar of summer programming information so they can learn more about engagement options that are safe for their young people and deter them for future curfew violations. This strategy reflects our values. We're not just criminalizing our young people for simply being outside and being black. We're limiting unnecessary youth interactions with law enforcement, and we're also ensuring appropriate accountability for our young people, parents, and guardians if they are engaged in behaviors that put themselves and others in danger. As always, our approach will be informed by data collected from past activities and what we learn every day on the ground. The team you see up here and in front of us is committed to making sure that every single young person in Baltimore has a safe, productive, and fun summer. And with that starts the helping with folks find information about that programming. So we created a new site where you can find programming info and register, which is very simple, www.bemorethisummer.org. No E, B-M-O-R-E, thissummer.org. I also want to recognize two of our partners who are helping dozens of organizations across the city offer summer youth programming. Baltimore's Promise for facilitating roughly $2.5 million to support youth programming through the Summer Funding Collaborative. Let's give them a round of applause. And the Baltimore City Children and Youth Fund, who just announced that they are stepping up to support more than 40 organizations with a $2.9 million investment in the Summer Funding Collaborative. That's $2.1 million more than they previously announced, and that's on top of over $600,000 in direct investments to support grassroots organizations in the span of summer arts programming. So let's give the Children and Youth Fund a big round of applause. Last, but certainly not least, I want to encourage our young people and everybody, because I plan to have a little fun this summer myself too, to have fun, but more importantly, to be safe this summer as the weather gets warmer, and we'll catch you all outside in the summer of 2025. And with that, I will now turn it over to Director Mavronis.
Thank you, Mayor Scott. As the mayor mentioned, our approach is designed to prioritize the safety of Baltimore's young people and direct connections to resources for youth and families over traditional curfew enforcement. Monty, together with our partners at the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement, has partnered with a few organizations already who are doing ground level engagement. Those organizations include For My Kids, Redesigning Minds, the Movement Team, the Peace Team, and some of them are here in the room with us today. Just want to give them a round of applause for their work. Like the mayor said, our goal is to engage positively with Baltimore's young people and encourage them to be safe. We want all of Baltimore to enjoy their summer. And now that we're in the warmer months, our teams are already out in areas where we know young people are likely to congregate and will continue to be active largely on Friday and Saturday evenings, as well as Sunday nights and holiday weekends, starting at 8 p.m. through the end of summer for a total of 25 weeks, nearly doubling the amount of time that we've activated in previous years. Staff are emphasizing relationship building with our young people, proactive engagement to de-escalate conflicts and prevent potential violence. We will have resources at the ready that are specifically tailored for our youth and their families, including summer programming opportunities, family services, life coaching, and other wraparound supports as necessary. Just last weekend, our teams had roughly 35 positive interactions with young people and documented 3 requests for resources, including employment and health services. At our Youth Connection Center here at B360, a team of city staff will work to reunite the young person with their parents or guardians so they can make it home safely and facilitate connections to any resources. We're going to track our engagements in real time. with our young people so that we can continue to assess our strategy, conduct follow-up, and fine-tune our approach, and using lessons from our past activations to strengthen the work. That's included for us increasing our activation footprint, spring mobilization, and bringing on additional community partners to support our efforts. We know that unnecessary interactions with law enforcement do not make our young people safer. And this approach is about minimizing that contact while also making sure that we are positively engaging our young people using credible messengers and committed city staff. We're tapping into great organizations who want to see our youth thrive, leveraging credible messengers who can relate to our young people, and integrating this ground level safety engagement with all of the events and opportunities that you just heard the mayor mention. Thank you. And with that, I will turn it over to Baltimore City Council President Zeke Cohen.
Thank you, Director Mavronis. Thank you to Dr. Santelises. Thank you to my partners on the Baltimore City Council, Councilman Blanchard, Councilman Gray, and our chair, Chairman Bullock. Could not think of a better education chair than an educator, and someone who knows this business through and through, has sons of his own. Come to think of it, we are all dads up here, and that's a beautiful thing. I also have to thank our mayor. And I want to say this. I started my career as a teacher in Sandtown, Winchester, in Freddie Gray's neighborhood, and I taught at a time when it was the tail end of zero tolerance. And what I saw was a relationship between our children and law enforcement that was broken. What I saw was young people leave school and, in some cases, get thrown up against the police car, have their backpacks checked. It felt more like an occupation at times than it did like a normal, healthy childhood. And what I am so proud of, and I was reflecting on that this morning at the Board of Estimates, is we have a mayor who gets it, that we are not going back to zero tolerance. We are not going to treat our children like they are enemies of the state or in some sort of occupied space. And what is beautiful about Baltimore right now is that when we talk about our young people, we do so with respect and with love. And let me be clear, respect and love also at times means tough love. And I want to be clear to our young people, Doc, there are activities that we do not want you to participate in. Do not show up in a big crowd late at night with alcohol or drugs or anything that could put you or other people in harm's way. Respect yourself, respect other people. Being accountable is key. And we will never walk back on our commitment to accountability. But what we also have in this gathering today is a commitment, and the mayor laid it out, a real commitment to opportunities for our children. And to me, that has been the thing that in the past, Baltimore has fallen short on in a big way. And I am grateful to every community partner, Baltimore's Promise, Brittany, the Children and Youth Fund, all the folks that are in this room, Eric, the Peace Team, the folks that are on the ground doing the work in partnership. And I want to conclude by just telling a quick Baltimore story. So a few years ago, we got an idea to, for the summer, try to pull in some of our cultural institutions and have them be part of the summer plan. And so we put out an all-call to the aquarium, to the science center, to the museums, to the BSO, and we said, hey, would you be willing to step up and bring in some young people on Fridays for some hours for free? And what was so Baltimore about it, and what was so beautiful about it, every single institution said yes, unequivocally. Not a single one said no. Now, some said, look, we can only do 4 hours or 3.5 hours or whatever, but every single institution stepped up. And to me, that is so emblematic about of what I love about our city, which is that Baltimore does love its young people. When we ask, people say yes. And we don't always ask, but right now you have a local government, you have a school system that is working in true partnership with our cultural institutions, with our nonprofits, with our youth-serving organizations, and we are seeing the benefits. And the mayor mentioned the historic reductions in crime that we're all experiencing. We need to keep that up. And what is truly going to keep that up is when people have opportunities to thrive and excel and be their truest selves. So with that, again, really just grateful and honored to be a part of this gathering. Looking forward to this summer. Even more cultural institutions will be part of our Field Trip Fridays programming. Grateful to get the great partnership from city schools in that work. This is what it looks like when a city unites together for its young people. And with that, thrilled and proud to introduce my friend, our chair of the Education, Youth, and Older Adults Committee, John Bullock.
So good afternoon, everyone. It is truly a beautiful day. It's beautiful outside, but it's also beautiful here inside. I have the privilege and honor of representing Baltimore's 9th District. And for those of you who don't know, that's west and southwest part of our city. It's also not lost on me that we're inside the headquarters for B360. And the fact that there are young people from West Baltimore and Southwest Baltimore and all parts of our city who find their way down to the Inner Harbor to do something positive, to do something that's also going to give them the skill sets and the capabilities to be successful in life. Brittany saw what some people look at as a challenge and found a solution. And that's why we're here today. We're about solutions. A lot of times people can mention some of the challenges in our city, some of the things that they want our young people to do, but here we can find some solutions. You know, I stand here, yes, as a council member, and yes, chairing our Education, Youth, and Older Adults Committee. But as you know, I'm also a proud father. And if you see me run out of here in a little bit, that's to pick up one of my young people. But I will also say, as the mayor recognized, one of my young people is also a youth worker, so part of 8,500, so I'm looking forward to him getting out and being productive this summer. But oftentimes we talk about the summer slide as it relates to education. I see Dr. Santelisa's here, and I know I'll be turning it over to her as well. But again, we have to think about what do we do in terms of education. I'm an educator. I'm a father, right? So I think about safety. I think about opportunities. I think about we don't want people to lose that ground over the summer. We made so many gains, so many positive gains on the educational level. We don't want our young people to lose that. But also we want our young people to be engaged in productive activities, physically productive activities. I know the mayor likes to hoop. I know the mayor likes to run. Both of our sons are running track, right? So we have to make sure they're doing something outdoors and being engaged. But I want to double back to also why we're here and why B360 is so important to this conversation. Some of you know about the challenges we faced, and many of our older adults will complain about some of the things that are happening in the community. But then how do we shift it into a positive narrative? The gains that the mayor talked about earlier this week and today, those are not by accident. That's by intentional work. And that work doesn't stop. We have to have that commitment with our resources for our city. So we think about our philanthropic partners. We think about the coffers of the city that have contributed to this cause. But again, this is not just a one-time event. We look forward to doing this increased work over the years, summer after summer, and seeing some of those reductions in the negative, but also those increases in the positive. So again, if you can't tell, I'm very excited by the work that we're doing. And I say we, because we're doing this work collectively. It's about our neighborhoods, it's about our families, it's about our institutions, it's about all of us doing this great collective work. So again, I thank everyone who's here, all the partners, the young people as well, because the young people is who it's really about. And those young people, I'm talking to you guys, you guys are replacing us at some point. That's what we want. And so in order for that to happen, we need to make sure you're prepared for that next step. So God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Looking forward to some increased dialogue. I believe I'll turn it over to the city school CEO. Is that right? Dr. Santalisa?
Thank you so much, Chair Bullock. It is great to be here. And I will just say that when I talk to systems leaders, school district leaders across the country, one of the distinctives about Baltimore is what we see right here. Other school superintendents are charged singularly to engage young people over the summer months, to make sure that they have activities. But Baltimore City is a national leader in what it means to come together across agencies, be it government and private partnerships, community leaders, as well as young people themselves. And I think it's important as we enter this summer to realize that we are pace setters here in Baltimore City, that we have shown that we as a city can wrap our arms around our young people. Baltimore City is proud to be part of this. I want you to know that even though I'm not a dad, I am a mom. And I, too, have a teenager at home who was making sure she heard you, Mayor. She was like, oh, my God, the deadline's at midnight. And the mayor's already said he's not going to count it if it's late. So she made sure she got her Youth Works in. We're proud that we have CTE programming over the summer. We heard our community that our young people want early exposure to jobs, and so this is our second year of offering summer CTE programming, as well as some of our favorites like Spanish Theater Camp and some of the reading and Alvin Ailey programs that tend to be really popular. I think the bottom line is we are proud to partner with this city, and I can honestly say I am proud to be part of a city where you have the leadership that you see here working together on behalf of our young people. So thank you, and I will turn it back to the mayor. There you go.
Thank you very much. As he said, Chairman Bullock has to depart. He has to go pick the boys up, and his fellow Hamptonite, my fellow Merville Mustang, who's our son's track coach, he's very particular about time, so we have to make sure that we get there on time so he does not make us run more in practice. But thank you again all for being here. Dr. Santelises, before we take questions from the media, myself and Councilman Gray and some others were just reflecting about how different it is now in the summertime in Baltimore, because when we were coming up, you either got into one of the Wrecking Parks camps if you were of younger age, or if you were in Youth Works, you cut grass or made sandwiches. Those were the options. There was no dance, there was no theater, there was no CTE, and we just have to continue to grow that progress. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Oh, well, I'm just following instructions here. So now we'll hear from the most important people before we hear from the media. Sorry, you guys got to wait just a few more minutes. I don't know who's first. Who's first? Oh, Lyric, come on, Lyric. Come on.
Hi, my name's Lyric Howard. I'm currently a student at Western High School. So, the events that the mayor has for us teenagers is very important to us because we know that we're able to go outside and enjoy ourselves while knowing that we're still safe. So a few weeks ago, Miss Noel, she came to Western, and she basically pulled a few of us, and she was basically asking us a few questions about what we wanted to see this summer and the different activities that we were interested in. And after she had left, me and my peers, we had spoken to each other, and we basically felt like the mayor was caring about us teenagers and actually considering what we wanted to do instead of just going based off what they expected teenagers to be interested in. And I really feel like that was very, very well appreciated for us teenagers, since we know that we're able to communicate with our government and all that.
Come on, Q. Good afternoon, y'all. I'm kind of shy. How y'all doing today? So the Teen Fest that I think all of you guys saw the past weekend, it was with me and my brother right here, Jordan, Q Reckless. To be honest, our objective, wow, thank you, Auntie, Miss Noel, as she just mentioned, Lyric just mentioned prior to that. Our objective, chill. Our objective is really, though, honestly, though, our objective is really to connect the teams because, like Mayor B. Scott said earlier, the game is different. I don't know how old you guys are. I know you guys are older, but we don't do ages here. So, but I'm 23 years old, and I know when I was younger, we went outside. So, like, now, today's kids is all on TikTok. So our objective is to, like, not kind of distract them, but to relate to them more. Like, to give them something a little bit different that I know when we were younger, that was outside. They're more on the game, so text message is easier to connect with them. So our objective is to give them something that, to have for this summer, to connect with them and make sure, you know, everything is good. So we appreciate y'all for y'all help, giving us the opportunity to connect with the youth. Being a liaison, I think, is what my auntie mentioned. So, you know, I don't know all those scientific words, but I'm trying my best here. So we appreciate y'all, though, and we're going to get this done this summer. Thank you.
How y'all doing? My name's Jordan Carter. I'm 24 years old. I attended Randallstown High School. I'm an alumni. I did not go to Morgan State, but I wish I did. Yeah, no, for real. Me being in this for about 7 years, party promoting, seeing everything going to fruition, I was not picturing it being where I am today. I wouldn't have been able to do it without Fathom Got the Juice, Tremaine, Miss Noel, and especially Mayor B. Scott. It's just, I can say thank you now for everything. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been on TV. 1,500 kids, no weapons, no robberies. That's different. That's a lot. I am a little nervous, I ain't gonna lie, but all right. Yeah, just me knowing, coming from my background, I ain't gonna say I really grew up with a hard life, because I was raised with a good backbone. Had a single mother, but yeah. That helps me adapt to the kids in the city. I went to a Catholic school, so seeing from me coming in the county and coming back to the city, showing love to them, wanting them to do, not necessarily what I did, but get them on the right path. I'm 24, they get 15, 16, 17. I go up to them, take your ski mask off. They do it with no problem. I just appreciate y'all for everything. And that's it.
Thank you all. Q, I never thought I'd see the day that you were afraid of a microphone, but and you could have kept the Randallstown High thing to yourself. Don't go around telling a bunch of people that I wouldn't. I'm not getting in the Morgan Coppin thing. Not at all. But we'll move to questions.
If you have a question, please come to the mic.
The mic
if you have an
right there.
on-topic question, please come to the mic. We'll start here.
Hey, Kyrie Stewart, WBAL.
What's up, Kyrie?
Oh, no. Hey. I just have one question. Mayor, if you could just elaborate on the key things that make this plan different from last year, you know, just in a nutshell, and how it will build upon last year's plan.
Well, it's about expanding, right? You heard us talking about having more of the block parties. We're earlier in the year than we were last year. We didn't wait until Memorial Day. You heard we were out there on Easter weekend because culturally in Baltimore, Easter weekend is when people come outside, so to speak, and they stay outside until it gets cold. And I think we have to adapt to that. But it's also about evolving on the ground, taking the lessons that we learned, right? We moved the Youth Connection Center to here because we wanted to be more central and also have a value, a partner like B360. It's about building on that success and allowing us to create more spaces for our young people to enjoy themselves safely. What's up, Alexa?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
We know there are some juveniles who are still falling through the cracks. We have the 16
And adults.
We have the 16-year-old who was shot in the arm not long ago here on the promenade. We have some situations of mayhem with the fireworks at the Safeway and the Target, the 7-Eleven worker who was assaulted. Is this plan enough to target those juveniles who are falling through the cracks? And what would be your message to those who are concerned it's not?
So first and foremost, this plan, it doesn't sit along itself, right? This plan is one part of our plan to continue to reduce violence and crime in Baltimore, which everybody knows is down into historic levels. but we're going to go as far as we need to go within the means of the law. And what we always have to be reminded of, right? And if my grandmother was sitting here today, she will tell me that I need to remind everybody of one thing, that when you're talking about young people in particular, it starts at home, first and foremost. When you're talking about young people falling through the cracks or young people that we see consistently, we, whether it's myself, the police department, and others, are going to continue to do what we have to do. When we catch them doing wrong things, we will arrest them just like we do an adult when an adult goes out and does. If an adult shoots somebody, we arrest them. If a young person does that, we arrest them. And we will work with our partners, as you very well know, Alexa, with our partners in the state to see what needs to happen after that. We control what we control, and we continue to see the things with our young people reduce, but we're not going to stop, just like we're not going to stop with adults until there is none. We're going to continue to do that work because we know it's tough, but we're not going to simply allow anyone to just paint every young person in Baltimore as this violent thing. Because, for example, there are 70,000 young people in Baltimore City schools. And we're not going to allow anybody, the media or anybody, to let one young person who does one bad thing outshine the 999,000 of the others who are doing great things every day. And we have to, as a community, get out of that. Those are the exception. The rule for our young people are that they are living positive lives and want to be the best version of themselves. And what we all should do is highlight those young people who are doing great things, who are doing the better thing just as much, in fact, much more than we highlight the negative every single day. We're going to have graduations. And in a little over a month, we're going to start to have our high school graduations, where myself and Dr. Santelises will be in competition about who goes to the most graduations. And we will be talking about hundreds of young people from Baltimore who will be graduating, going to college, right? Many of them are reaching out to me saying what schools they got into and how excited they are to go and how they can't wait to be on their campus. Those are the things that are happening every day. And while we acknowledge what's happening with some of our young people, we never seem to hear over and over and over and over again about those who are doing the right thing.
Are you satisfied with DJS?
Am I satisfied? I am. I think the DJS is moving in a much better position than they were 3 years ago or 4 years ago or 5 years ago when before we had a change in gubernatorial administration, had been pleading everyone to understand how broken those systems were. And we're going to continue to work with the governor, the secretary, and everybody else to continue to make those systems get better. But our relationship with them from a BPD standpoint and from a city standpoint is much better today than it has been in the last 4 to 5 years.
Hi, Mayor Carson Swick from The Sun.
Hey, Carson.
Talking about the one fair wage bill that would phase out the tip credit for servers in the city. Occurred to me, obviously, you were here with Council President Cohen today, who is against this, and with Councilman Bullock, who sponsored it. Do you have a public position on this yet?
I have not. I haven't talked to the council president nor the chairman about the bill. The city council will do their due diligence, and when they go through their process, then it will come to me to make a decision. But as you can imagine, with all the things changing in the world, with DOJ ending grants to support violence prevention and domestic violence work in this country, my concerns are at a higher level than a bill that hasn't even had a hearing yet, right, Mr.